students. In this lecture, we'll continue with the differential equations of physical systems of module 1. Okay, so we are going to consider the ideal elements to begin with, which have a single port or two terminal representation. So there will be two variables associated with that ideal element, which has been shown in this figure. You can refer this figure. There are two variables associated with it. And now we'll identify those variables as through variable Vt is first variable. You can see Vt, which has been shown here. This is one variable. Okay, through variable Vt. This through variable Vt, which sort of passes through the element and so has the same value in at one port and out at the other. The example for this is current through a electrical resistance. Okay, the next second variable is across variable Va, which passes across the two terminals of the element. The example for that we can give voltage across an electrical resistor. Then there is another classification of element variables. One, input variable or independent variable Vi. Input variable or independent variable Vi. Second is output variable or dependent, which is also response variable V0. Okay. So the diagram of that element has been shown here. Vi, V0 and elemental law which is placed inside the block. So that Vi input variable could be either Vt or Va and corresponding V0 would be Va or Vt. Then this element is represented in the block diagram form, which is called cause effect form, which has been shown here, wherein the signal Vi flows into the block and V0 flows out of the block, which is modified by law represented by the block. Okay, so here it has been represented as elemental law. Okay, next we'll discuss about mechanical systems. Whatever are the mechanical systems and devices, they can be modeled by means of three ideal translatory and three ideal rotary elements. Okay, their diagrammatic representation and elemental relation will be studied later. In case of mass or inertia elements, there is one thing to note, that one terminal is always the inertial reference frame with respect to which the free terminal moves or rotates. Okay, you can see the mass. One terminal is always the inertial reference frame here, whereas the other terminal, which is free terminal, moves or rotates. Okay, is it clear? Now we are going to have a table that is going to give us the through and across variables for ideal mechanical elements, which will be shown later. The tabular form is variables of mechanical elements. So through variable, integrated through variable, across variable, integrated across variable. Then we have translational elements, we have rotational elements. First we'll go for translational elements. Force F is through variable. Newton is equal to kg meter per second square. Integrated through variable, translational momentum P is equal to sorry, I have missed it. Velocity difference V is equal to V1 minus V2 meters per second. Then displacement difference x is equal to x1 minus x2, which is rotational. Then rotational elements torque T Newton meter, angular momentum h is integration minus infinity to t dt, which is Newton meter second. Then across wherever angular velocity difference omega is equal to omega 1 minus omega 2 radians per second. Angular displacement difference theta is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 radians. Okay, so the mass and inertia are the two kinds of springs which are the energy storage elements wherein energy can be stored and retrieved without loss, and so these are called conservative elements. Energy stored in these elements is expressed as mass E is equal to half mv square, which is considered as kinetic energy in joules, motional energy. Then inertia is E is equal to, for inertia element, E is equal to half j omega square, which is kinetic energy in joules, motional energy. The spring translatory E is given by half kx square, which is potential energy joules, deformation energy. Spring torsional E is equal to half k theta square, which is potential energy joules, deformation energy. Damper is a dissipative element and power it consumes lost in the form of heat is given as P is equal to F V square in watts, which is equal to F omega square in watts. The elemental relationship are not expressed in momentum form, so it can be, the relationship of mass can be integrated and expressed as integration minus infinity to t f of t f dt is equal to m integration minus infinity dv by dt dt, or p is equal to mv if v of minus infinity equal to 0. So next we are going to study the ideal elements for mechanical system. First we will study translational system. There are three translational elements: mass, spring, damper. First we will see the mass element. So you can see mass m. One terminal is inertial reference with respect to which the free terminal moves or rotates. So this is a reference. Okay, force is applied here. This is the mass. So we can write F is equal to m dv by dt, which is equal to m d square x by dt square. X is displacement. Second, for spring element, this is spring of stiffness k. So we can write F is equal to k into bracket x1 minus x2, which is equal to kx, where k is equal to integration minus infinity to t v1 minus v2 dt is equal to k integration minus infinity to t v dt. Okay, next we can write the damper element. Damper element, we can see here it has been shown, damper element with friction coefficient f. So f is given by f into bracket v1 minus v2, which is equal to fv, which is equal to f x1 dot minus x2 dot, which is equal to f x dot, where x, the units are given, x is in meters, v is in meter per second, m is in kg, f is in newton per meter, k is in newton per meter, f is newton per meter per second. Next we'll go for rotational systems. First we'll have inertia element. So this is the inertia element. Okay, inertia element. So torque T is applied to inertia element. Torque T can be written as J d omega by dt, which is equal to j d square theta by dt square. Second is torsional spring element. So we can write T is equal to k into bracket theta 1 minus theta 2, which is equal to k theta, which is equal to k into bracket, which is equal to k integration with limits minus infinity to t omega 1 minus omega 2 dt, which is equal to k integration from minus infinity to t omega dt. Next, damper element of friction coefficient f. So torque T which is applied is given by f into bracket omega 1 minus omega 2. So here we have omega 1, this is omega 2, which is equal to f omega, which is equal to f theta 1 dot minus theta 2 dot, which is equal to f theta dot. Theta is in radians, omega is in radians per second, j is kg per meter square, t newton per meter, k is newton per meter per radian, f newton meter per radian per second. Okay, so whatever is the mechanical system which is modeled using the three ideal elements which we have studied now would yield a mathematical model which is an ordinary differential equations. So we'll examine such and have the modeling. So in detail, the friction which has not been modeled, whatever is a friction which has been modeled as a linear element, the damper. So the friction which has been modeled as a linear element, the damper. So we are going to study about friction. So I told, is it clear? Friction which will be modeled as a linear element, the damper. So now we'll study the friction linear element, the damper. Now we should know why friction exists in physical system. In physical systems, the friction exists, okay, whenever mechanical surfaces are operated in sliding contact. So the friction encountered in physical system may be of many types. One, Coulomb friction force, the force of sliding friction between dry surfaces. This force is substantially constant. Okay. Second, viscous friction force, force of friction between moving surfaces separated by viscous fluid, or the force between a solid body and a fluid medium. This force is approximately linearly proportional to velocity over a certain limited velocity range. Next, stiction, the force required to initiate motion between two contacting surfaces. And where it is obviously more than the force required to maintain them in relative motion. So that is stiction. The viscous friction predominates in most physical situations of interest. Okay, is it clear? Now, whatever is a friction, it acts in a direction. The friction force acts in a direction opposite to that of velocity. Okay, it may be said that friction is desirable or not. There is a need to remember that friction is not always undesirable in physical systems. Sometimes it may even be necessary to introduce friction intentionally to improve the dynamic response of the system. Then how this friction will be introduced intensely in a system is by use of a dashpot. So with the help of dashpot, friction may be introduced intentionally in a system. Now we are going to study that dashpot. This dashpot consists of a piston. You can see a piston and an oil-filled cylinder. This is an oil-filled cylinder with a narrow annular passage between a piston and cylinder. This is a narrow annular passage between the piston and a cylinder. Any relative motion between piston and the cylinder is resisted by oil with a friction force Fe. So the oil will come with the friction force Fe out when there is a motion between piston and cylinder. So this is a dashboard construction figure. So next we'll study about translational system. So we are going to consider the mechanical system which has been shown in figure A. So this is a figure A. Figure A, mass spring dashboard system. We'll consider this. So when we see this figure, it is simply a mass M attached to a spring of stiffness K and a dashboard viscous friction coefficient F on which this force F acts. So this force F acts. Displacement X is positive in the direction shown. Okay, you can see this displacement X is positive in the direction shown. 0 point is taken to be at the point where the spring and mass are in static equilibrium. 0 position is taken to be at the point where the spring and mass are in static equilibrium. Okay? Equilibrium. Then how to analyze such a system is there is a systematic way. The systematic way of analyzing such a system is to draw a free body diagram which has been shown here. The figure B represents a free body diagram. Free body diagram. Okay, body diagram. Then by applying Newton's law of motion to this free body diagram, the force equation can be written as F minus F dx by dt minus kx is equal to m d square x by dt square, or F is equal to m d square x by dt square plus F dx by dt plus kx. This is taken as equation 2.1. So this above equation is a linear constant coefficient differential equation of second order. Then one thing is observed that the system has two storage elements, mass M and spring K. Is it clear? Mass M and spring K. Next we are going to study about mechanical accelerometer. So I'll stop here. You go through this. In next lecture I'll continue.